Daily, Tyrone Keys helps others receive the same opportunity he was given. An SEC 75th Anniversary Story of Character.
Let's take a look at our All-State Good Hands flashback. The last time Alabama lost in the regular season as number one was all the way back in 1980. Tied 3-3 late in the fourth quarter. Dana Moore's 22-yard field goal put the Bulldogs up by 3. Alabama marched down to the 2-yard line, but Tyrone Keys hit quarterback Don Jacobs. It forced the fumble. Mississippi recovered and ended Alabama's 28-game win streak.
Attention for his post-career work and seems especially proud of his recognition as one of the SEC's 75th Anniversary Stories of Character and his induction into the MSU Education Hall of Fame.
We know it's good, knowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just sweating for fun.
Atlanta, bring on Dallas. This is for Mike and Papa Bear Hallis.
This necessitates an excellent teacher to terminate her services with a given school system. As was the case of Mrs. Mary W. Hagan, a Jackson Public School elementary teacher in a predominantly black school, who was greeted with tears from her class of mixed pupils when they were informed that she was leaving. And in questioning some of the children as to why the sadness, they responded with, "She taught us and we learned, she loved, she respected us." She had to sustain her emotions when she entered her classroom Friday morning to find, written on her blackboard, "You have certainly helped my people." This was written by the janitor. On her last day of service, Mrs. Hagan gave to all her pupils and their parents an original writing by her entitled "Love Is." An excerpt from it reads, "Love is knowing your students love you. Love is being honest with one another. And to aid the teacher who is to replace her Monday," she wrote, "Love is a new teacher next Monday." Mrs. Hagan will continue her services as a public school teacher in the Baton Rouge public school system this year.
I can't believe this phone call. I can't believe this phone call.
Why is that? I'm telling you, it's been how many years?
Since 1970, so that's quite a while.
Tyrone Keys, a former Mississippi State football player, came back to this his hometown, his native town, met with the school that he went to, the elementary school, met with kids and spoke to them about believing and achieving, and it's a really inspirational story behind Tyrone. But it's not solely Tyrone's story, it's a lesson and a living lineage, and how sometimes the smallest people can make the largest lasting impact. As a football player, Tyrone Keys' journey led him through SEC domination at Mississippi State and Super Bowl glory in the NFL. Yet through all of his triumphs and success, he never forgot about this woman, Mary Hagan, Keys' 6th grade teacher. The teacher to whom he owed so much had no awareness of the impact she had made.
She expanded our awareness of what the possibilities could be. And over the years, I always thought about her.
To be honest with you, I did not know, I have a clue that this impact had reached the level it did until after we started talking.
What makes Mrs. Hagan and our story so different is because of the circumstances and because of the fact that she could have said, adios, I'm gone, in 1971 in Jackson, Mississippi, and in the heart of the heat of the civil rights movement, and her compassion for us and her courage to travel back and forth from this community to her community, I just never.
After 47 years, I still had the class roll. And for a reason I cannot explain, I had a small mark next to Tyrone's name. I also had the copy of the poem I had left for them.
And then down at the end of the line, she mentioned, love is when one of your students come to visit. Now, I'm here. It took me 39 years, but I'm here.
I can't believe this is happening after talking to Tyrone a few weeks ago, and he said he could make this happen, and he had found you, and this is unbelievable. It really is. I mean, to go back and to be able to talk to your 6th grade teacher, and that's something. I mean, after all these years, that's really something. Because I never would in a million years thought this would happen. We learned a lot from you. I talk about you to this day. I'm gonna tell you, Miss Hagan, you definitely left an impression on me.
We had no idea what part we were playing in history, did we?
No, we did not.
At the time. It's a good thing we'd have probably turned and run the other way or something. But it all worked out. It all worked out.
Well, you're a special person with a big heart, with one of those kinds of love, for people, for your students. I think that just speaks for people, just has an impact on people.
Well, it's just wonderful hearing from you.
Oh, same here.
Just want to tell you, in the past few weeks, I've been lucky enough to get to know a man named Tyrone Keys, a former Callaway High School All-American, Mississippi State All-SECer, Super Bowl champion, and most recently, Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame member. His career accomplishments impress. His story inspires.
So when she came off from LSU as a grad and talking to us about LSU and Southeastern Conference football, and gave a chance for a kid like me to really dream, and I began to watch the Mississippi State highlights.
So much so that for 39 years, Tyrone tried to contact Mrs. Hagan. The teacher to whom he owed so much had no awareness of the impact she had made.
She expanded our awareness of what the possibilities could be. And over the years, I always thought about her.
To be honest with you, I did not know or have a clue that this impact had reached the level it did until after we started talking.
If people was like you, if more people like you, this world would be a whole lot better place. A lot of children now,
really,
they would be so much better because you showed a lot of passion.
Trust.
In 1970 Jackson, this school, like many others, was combining students and teachers, both black and white.
Your desk was right here. And I sat right over there.
We had room up here to do all the dancing around.
And the other thing is, I remember those kids lined up, they lined up against the wall when you had too many kids in that class.
Yeah.
The times were tenuous, and Hagan and her husband withstood great criticism from peers for the young teacher's position.
This elderly lady that lived across from me, she was friends with the governor. I don't know what the deal was there, but she came over and told us, said, you need to get all your stuff out of here, because they're plotting against you. And my husband already left, so I called him up, and he and his father came up during the middle of the night, packed up all our stuff. What y'all didn't know, I was just practically sleeping on the floor, and they were just harassing me something terrible.
Back in our era, when Martin Luther King had that famous quote, it's not the content of your skin, but the content of your character. She came in and she represented what true character is.
I want to thank you so much for inspiring me, continue to inspire me I'd like to present this to Tyrone. A teacher's gift is knowing that a student has reached his or her fullest potential. And to top that off is knowing that that student is able to return this back to the community. And Tyrone has certainly fulfilled my dream as a teacher. So Tyrone, I would like to present this very special plaque to you. And a special thank you for touching my heart, not only back in 1970, but again in 2009.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And this is for you. As you know, you got started, my journey got started here at Dawson Elementary School. And that's why I'm back here today, is to share with the students, to let them see the fruit. And I wanted to also share with them the root. So you were the root here at the school. My parents was the root at home. And I want teachers to know around the country that it's the positive words, and it's the seeds that they plant within the heart of the students. And they can come full circle. Both people come together as one. 40 years ago, I was right here, walking the same halls, sitting in the same chairs that they were sitting in. So I wanted to have an opportunity to see what the picture can look like for them.
As a teacher, I think it's our obligation to try to help students to learn what their gifts may be, and that the rewards may not come at the end of the day, their 9 weeks, the year, but the impressions they make from day to day, minute to minute, will be for life.
It was 25 years ago that we were right here with the Chicago Bears, and we did our thing. I never forget it. Mike Dicker, Buddy Ryan called us up, and Walter Payton and Singletary called us up right before the game, and we all looked at each other and said, we're going to lay it on the line. And then that's what we did. We knelt down, and we looked each man in the eye, and we said, hey, everybody give it their best. We'd come back and we'd be crowned world champions. We came back, we were actually world champions at halftime, 35-6. I always tell people I got my Super Bowl ring at halftime. But anyways, tonight we're here for a bigger purpose, and that's the purpose of teachers. Teachers are like, everybody has a teacher. It's like every living thing has a seed. Everything that's living was born from a seed. And so everybody that's living had to come from seed. And so tonight we're here to honor champions, and I'm here to honor somebody who actually poured a lot of love and compassion in my heart. But at the same time, she laid it on the line back when it was not fashionable to lay it on the line, because back in 1968, you had Martin Luther King, who was shot and killed for taking the cause. You had Robert Kennedy, and so people were actually dying. And Mrs. Hagan came up, and she laid it on the line.
One of the students that I so much admired when I went to Tampa was a young man named LeBron. He was in a wheelchair. He had been in a terrible car accident, had a lot of adversity issues to deal with. And he told me this story while we were at Tampa Digital preparing some of these videos, that he had to stay in the hospital for a long time after this car accident. And he had a lot of nurturing at the hospital. The nurses were very good to him, as well as all the other people. But finally the day came for him to go home. And so he was sitting in his apartment in the dark, hot, wondering, what's going to happen to me? Well, it just so happened that Tyrone and his wife had gone out to eat. And at the restaurant,
they ran into one of his nurses who said, "We know a young man that needs your help." So he said, "Well, do you have a phone number?" So the nurse gave him the phone number, but they said, "We've been trying to reach him for quite a while, and the number doesn't work anymore." So Tyrone went home, dialed that number. It worked. This young man answered the phone, so sad and gloomy. And Tyrone said, "Hey, what you doing in the morning?" "Nothing." He said, "How about eating breakfast with me?" He said, "Oh, well, that's great." So the next morning, this young man who had nothing was eating breakfast with the Buccaneers. This young man won the Volunteer of the Year award with the Buccaneers this past year for his service with All Sports Community Service.
A community quarterback is a person that unselfishly gives of themselves to make their community a better place to live.
We only have one shot at life, so I do it every day to encourage everyone that's going through to still stand. My motto is no excuses. If you're living, don't just live for yourself, live to help and enhance others as well.
Daily, Tyrone Keys helps others receive the same opportunity he was given. An SEC 75th anniversary story of character.
And I just never forget, as a kid, watching all the Super Bowl games and watching Monday Night Football, and my mom said, "It's time to go to bed," but I said, "No, Mom, I want to play pro football one day."
Short track by Theismann, carried by Tyrone Keys. At the 42-yard line, number 5 on the day, Tyrone Keys.
And I never would have ever thought that when my dad took me outside to kind of throw the ball around, that this ball would have taken me places. But I want to tell young students, the ball without education and without the proper mentoring is a disaster. So I encourage the young people that they have to develop character, because football by itself is a non-transferable skill. But you can take everything that you learn from the coaches and the teachers, you can take with you and you can apply it, and you can parlay the game from the playing field to the game of life, and then come back and help the next generation on their journey.
We're happy to present the Kuehl Family Fame for Fitness Award and this check to you and your foundation, All Sports Community Service.